Alright, welcome back. Sorry to not close that earlier. So, we've got Varadha here playing Greeks in the purple trunks, up against Indoors in the light blue. We're on connected rivers today. There'll be resources around our players' bases, but there'll actually be, should be 3 or 4 schools of fish. So there is 4,000 food immediately next to your town centre here on this one. And you can go for warships. You can have your military attacking warships. So it leads to some pretty interesting early games. You don't really see it much. A lot of the competitive players don't really like it because it's not the same as playing a meta map. So Varadha going for the wood. Still doing a bit of fishing at the moment. So you're going to want to make sure you can continuously produce stuff still. Definitely wants to get her fishing, I think, here. He's only got one villager on the food at the moment, Varadha, so he needs to be careful of that. Make sure he's gathering plenty of food. Indoors. Economy going pretty well here. He's got 3 fishermen. He's got everyone else on the wood for the moment. He's found some early stone, some early gold, so he's in the position he wants to be in. He's even in a semi-safe hunt here. Doesn't look like Varadha's got an easy hunt, so he's going to want to make sure he can fish. Maybe scout over here. There's probably one either here or here, I'd say. Indoors already getting a dock. Varadha also adding a dock at the moment. So Roman versus Greek. I love this map. I want to play it myself. So fishing about to start for Varadha. Indoors actually a little bit ahead on the fishing boat there. Even look at starting the second one here. Once he gets a little bit more wood. So 14 bills to 10 here actually. Varadha a little bit slow on his food gathering. So he's missed a couple of couple of villages with that. He's got his first of his fishing boats and another one on the way. One he'll be later on his second boat as well. He's just down a couple of villages. Oh, he just had to change his mouse battery. Indoor's actually not producing anything at the moment. I think he's waiting for the food to age up, I'd say. Does want a little bit more stone. Oh, here we go. He's going to go for the next villager anyway. So a bit of a downtime there he probably didn't need. And he's probably going to go for a little bit more stone before he does age up here. Or look at getting on gold, just because it gives him the option of getting warships. So he can raid in age 2. Try and snipe a fishing ship or 2. And force his opponent to actually make warships. Because then if you do, it takes away your ability to raid a little bit. Your opponent does get a bit of an edge in mobility. If you're the one investing more in warships, you're the one that's not really going to be investing as much in, say, stables units, because they're a bit more expensive than your other land units. And it's a small map, so it's not particularly open. But that also means that these trees, if you are using them defensively, it does make it a bit harder to actually gather wood out of them. And the fishing, it's a really good map for food gold armies, especially because they tend to fight better against the warships than archers do. As long as you're fighting in a situation like this where you can actually, you know, engage them from the land. So Indoors getting a Liburnian. Varadha still in age 1 here, 19 villages to 18 of Indoors, so he's caught up on that front, but he is going to eat production time of 3 villages by getting his age up. So Indoors is going to be able to push him really early. but it is going to be pretty safe because of the town centre. It's really only the fishing on this side that's threatened by this. Indoors, adding another Liburnian. It's not as though there's actually any fish in the rest of the pond. It'd be kind of cool if there was, I think, but alas. So Varadha, aging up, indoors, just sitting, chilling. Try and shoot a fishing boat, actually managing to miss there somehow. He can hit the dock here, and he's just outside of TC range. Varadha can probably actually click that manually and hit it, I'd say. Because you do get about extra 1 or half a range. Oh. Varadha gonna lose a fishing boat here. His age up. Not far off, he's got plenty of gold in the bank actually. Varadha's been gathering like crazy, he just hasn't actually produced anything with it. Indoors, no second TC yet, but he's starting to get that stone. He's got a second dock now. Starting to add some land production for Varadha. So far he's just got villages, he's lost a couple of fishing boats, but that's really been it for now. We've had the Liburnian fall there for indoors. He's getting a second, he's going to start adding an army here. Varadha getting a defensive second TC here. It doesn't guard a lot of resources, but it does protect this initial dock. I have to wonder if he is better off having it on this side, because it just gives him this little bit more cover of the resources here. But in saying that, it does still mean he's working towards the gold and the stone. Just not really guarding a lot of food, because he is going to need to protect this anyway. Indoors, still holding a little bit of the score lead. Got plenty of good land production on the way here. Been getting conditioning so he can really spit out the legionaries. So they'll be quite hardy. They've got ranged armor. Not all counter infantry do, so they're actually not too bad in the face of the double TC and any potential warship production here from Varadha. So 25 to 29 Vil count. Varadha producing out of both TCs. But a little bit behind on villages at the moment. A little bit behind on his military production. Getting started. No warship yet either for him, so he probably wants to look at adding 1 or 2 of those just to make it a bit easier in these fights. They are quite tanky. They do have area damage. They are ranged. So all pretty good reasons to have them. Indoors just massing up more army. Varadha, for now, is only going to have Toxotes. Needs to make sure he's not over gathering anything here, just so he's got the wood to start his production buildings. Like if he had 200 more wood and 200 less gold at the moment, he could start his next barracks. You know, just make sure he's got that production in check, because right now Indoors is pulling ahead. He's going to be up to 3 production buildings very shortly. Varadha for now is just only on the 1, and also again he's missing on warships here. Other maps it's probably not such a big deal, but this means you can't really gather from around your TCs. Any villages you're producing are under a lot of threat. Indoors really spamming production now. Probably could cancel 1 or 2 of these and get Decurions in the mix here again, because they're going to be a really handy tank. As well, a huge health pool, a bit of pierce armor. So you make sure he's min-maxing his production here. Cancel 1 of each of these out of the Castellums. Really rev up the production here. And take advantage of his production building lead. Double range, really not going to be a great option here. He's going to have to get some form of front line. Spears for the Decurions, Hypaspis for the Legionaries here. Maybe even have a trireme. The tower might be useful, but these Toxotes are going to have to be very careful. The barracks is going to be pretty late. Indoors might have enough here. The ships are going to be under quite a bit of pressure from the towers, though. They do so much damage to ships. Indoor's going to be able to take them out quickly. And Decurions, they don't have any real counter here. The Legionaries under pressure by the Toxotes, but there's nothing to act as a front line for them. Indoors losing his Liburnians now to the TCs. But Decurion Legionary is one of the best, you know, merely 2-unit combos in Age 2 for actually fighting onto town centers. Liburnian going to pick a fight with these villagers. He might be able to kite them back a little bit. There's no army here for Varadha to defend this. He's got a lot of resources in the bank, but he's just got no means of spending them. He's got his barracks finished now, but he could really start with another 2 barracks and another range at the top if he could cram them in at the moment. But instead, he's going to lose a lot of villagers. Here we go. So he's going to go with, again, oh yeah, 3 barracks. But he really needed that just a couple of minutes ago, because now Indoors is able to take out this front production. Probably could even just cancel these spears, get conditioning from this building and just train more up here. Or, you know, have them hide over here somewhere. But Varadha is under a lot of pressure now. Indoors just needs enough to take out the TC. And then make one more push, I think. This eco's in great shape. 48 villagers to 27. So he's in a lot better shape at home. And all he really has to do now is just not falter. Not throw his army away. Might be able to pick off this town center here. Varadha, in the meanwhile, going to be able to mass up some of his infantry, but he really needs to be able to get as much out as he can and not push until he's really ready here. Even if he loses this first TC and just engage on the second, he can start getting the stone for TCs again. Just make sure he's not over-gathering any one resource, and, you know, usually things can be turned around at some point. Even if it does rely on your opponent making a bit of a misjudgment, just over-committing to things. So it's smart of Varadha to try and repair through this. He's going to be able to keep the TC alive a lot longer and get a lot more damage out of it, but he needs to be careful not to lose too many villagers. Indoors really pulling ahead now on the villager count. I think this may be it. TC not far off going down now. Triple barracks production, not quite enough. There's no conditioning here. There's no sort of range support other than the TC itself now. So Varadha asking for a restart, actually.